That voice is familiar to you. That is Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear in Atlanta yesterday, rallying a crowd for presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Today, he is back in the Commonwealth, gearing up to speak downtown at the Veterans of Foreign Wars National Convention.
Jim Stratman in the studio with us this morning. Jim, Beshear here continuing to be kind of one of those top names in contention for a potential VP nomination from Vice President Kamala Harris. How did folks respond to him this weekend?
Well, he had two venues to try to garner votes, Iowa and then down in Atlanta as well. We knew about the Iowa trip, didn't quite know about the Atlanta one, but hey, if you're being asked by the presumptive nominee and you're in the running for vice president, do a little bit more work, I don't think you're going to say no to that. The weekend really did kind of feel like an audition for Beshear. As I said, two different states, two different venues, two different voting demographics. And for the governor, it was a chance to really introduce himself to a wider audience outside of the Commonwealth.
If you don't know me, I'm the guy who beat Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidate last November in Kentucky.
Now, Beshear, of course, referencing back to his 2023 gubernatorial win over the Trump and McConnell-backed candidate Daniel Cameron. He also talked about how he was standing up for LGBTQ plus rights while in the governor's mansion by vetoing pieces of anti-trans legislation passed by the General Assembly. But perhaps most of all, the attendees that we spoke with in Iowa talked about his genuineness and how they saw him as a person instead of just a politician.
He gave substance in our private conversation today, which touched my heart, and you take that and you take it to the voters because that's what they want.
Now, Beshear is among several Democrats who are being vetted for the Harris ticket, including Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. ABC News is reporting that the Harris campaign will make a decision on the vice presidential nominee by August 7th. Now, the governor also continued to go on the attack against Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance. We'll take a closer look at that coming up here in the next half hour. Eric?
All right, Jim, thank you. We will be bringing in political experts from both sides of the aisle to analyze where the path goes from here. Doug Proffitt's going to have that report for you on air this evening at 6 p.m.
All right, other news for you this morning. A juvenile is charged with attempted murder after a fight-turned shooting at a southern Indiana lake. According to the Perry County Sheriff's Office, around 8 Saturday night, two groups of young people got into a dispute at Rainbow Lake in Derby. The sheriff's office says shots were fired during the altercation. While investigating, officers found two victims with gunshot wounds. One had to be airlifted to U of L Hospital. Shortly after, Indiana State Police say they found two vehicles involved in the shooting trying to leave the area. A male juvenile was arrested and charged with attempted murder. Due to his age, police have decided not to release his name.
Louisville Metro Police are asking for your help finding a weapon they believe was used in a homicide. Police arrested 31-year-old Patrick Anderson Saturday in connection with a Friday night shooting in PRP. That's when officers found the body of a man who'd been shot inside a car near Greenwood Elementary School. Police say Anderson may have tossed the weapon used while leaving the scene. Officers say it could be in a bush or in someone's yard around the area. Police say if you see that firearm, do not touch it and to call 911 immediately. Anderson is at Metro Corrections being held on a $500,000 bond.
A man is in critical condition after a reported shooting outside Mall St. Matthews on Saturday. LMPD says two off-duty officers were working as mall security at the time when they made a traffic stop around 7 p.m. in the mall parking lot. According to Assistant Chief Emily McKinley, as officers approached the car, the man shot himself. Officers performed first aid and other life-saving measures. The man was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Suicide and suicide attempts are extremely painful, and they affect individuals and families of all backgrounds. If you or someone you know is experiencing suicidal thoughts or ideas, we encourage you to seek help immediately by utilizing the 988 Suicide Crisis Hotline.
That hotline is, of course, available 24/7. LMPD says there were two other people in the car, but no other injuries. We were also told there is body camera video set to be released to the public. Right now, we don't know exactly when that will happen.
There was a solidarity march and vigil last night in downtown Louisville for Sonia Massey, the 36-year-old black woman who was killed inside her home by police on July 6. The group marched to Jefferson Square Park in downtown, where protests were previously held for Breonna Taylor in 2020.
Until people look at why the lives of black women are undervalued in America, we will continue to be here again and again and again.
It was Hannah Drake there. The sheriff deputy who shot Massey was charged with first-degree murder last week and was fired from the sheriff's department.
Today, the state's JCPS task force is meeting for the second time. The 13-member panel is made up of both Republican and Democratic lawmakers, along with 2 parents, a local business leader, and 2 JCPS educators. Its goal is to determine areas of improvement for JCPS and to examine whether or not the district should be split up. At its inaugural meeting, Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio presented information about the district and outlined its strengths and weaknesses. The group will meet today in Frankfort at 3 p.m.